All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You're rolling with me this morning. You can call me Bubba. Well, I got to change my format here. Good to see you guys out there this morning. Start hitting me up, giving me something to talk about. Give me some comments. This is Bubba. This is your early rise right before the horn grit and grind live stream for the working class. If you're in your truck, your boots, or halfway through your breakfast biscuit, welcome home. We don't need a perfect Monday. We just need a solid start. Let's light the fire. Excuse me while I change out of dip. Everybody had their coffee this morning. Everybody getting rolling. Everybody rolling. Screen settings and all that stuff. Good morning. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Everybody had a good weekend. Let's talk about the word of the week. The word of the week is momentum. Momentum, not speed. It's momentum. The steady pressure. That consistent push. You may not feel fast. Turn that microphone off, y'all. Excuse me a minute. I can hear it blooping in the background. You might not feel fast, but you're moving forward. Doing more than most. You're out there. All them hat cats sitting there with the big fancy... Guys, I've been in that crowd. Trying to see who can wear the fanciest clothes, and they admire each other's attire more than they admire each other's production. Well, I'm here to tell you, I admire your production. I admire your tenacity. Them guys ain't even up yet. Most of them ain't even thinking. They might get up at 7 and think about a workout, since they don't get any physical exercise throughout the day. So they may go to the gym and do a half-hour workout and then get dressed in their fancy clothes and present themselves like a bunch of darn peacocks. But you, the guys who make the world go round, the guys who are rebuilding this country every day, the guys who are in the grit, pushing, making it happen. You've got a special set of skills and talents them old boys just wish they had. Like I said, you might not feel fast, but you're moving forward. You're doing more than most. Remember, big jobs don't get done in a day, but every screw turned, every panel hung, every bolt tightened, it adds up. Just stay in motion. Stay in motion. All right. 5:05 in the morning. How's everybody this morning? Keep turning. Some of you guys are out there rounding up your men. Some of you have to pick some men up. Co-workers. Some of you are ride sharing. If somebody's gracious enough to pick you up, make sure you're ready when he pulls up in your driveway. Don't make him wait. If you have to wait on him, that's fine. He might have come into some traffic. Something might have happened delayed him, but he's giving you a ride. Be ready when that man gets there. Y'all excuse me a minute. I'll turn that autofocus off again because it get to breathing and make it look funny. Anyway, y'all, I'm learning just like you guys are. Stay in motion. Staying in motion. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. I couldn't hardly sleep thinking about being here with you this morning. Got up and got the old coffee brewing. I even got to put the work boots on, because as soon as I'm done here, I'm off to do my thing. So glad y'all can make it. Make sure you give me a comment, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you appreciate me getting up this morning and being with you. Now last week I think we talked about sharp edges and nails in the safety. You know how it goes. You're rushing, you reach into a pile of demo debris behind some framework, and wham, you just met a hidden nail. Take 2 seconds. Scan, sweep, slow down. It's not the big fall that gets most of us. It's the 5 stitches you didn't see coming. Keep your hands and your whole pride intact. This past week, that was a week before. I think this past week I pushed out. Let me see what I did. Some of y'all who tune into my safety channel, tell me what I talked about this past week. Very important. Very important. Personal responsibility and housekeeping. Guys, it's your responsibility for your own housekeeping, keeping your job cleaned up. Housekeeping isn't about showing off for the boss. It's about taking pride in your work. If you take pride in your work, you ought to take pride in where you work at. I think that that's a sign of professionalism. If you keep a good, clean job site and you clean your area as you go, and you don't have any trip hazards, your cords are picked up, your area swept up, your scrap is put in the proper places, that makes a big impression on anybody. It's doing that stuff when nobody has to ask you to do it. That's the important thing. Good housekeeping it shows a good work ethic. So let's take pride in your housekeeping. You don't wait for somebody else. You don't need a laborer. You need a sense of responsibility. So you make sure you and your crew hold each other accountable. You know, if somebody left some scrap. Hey man, is that your scrap? Please get it up. I don't want to trip on it. We don't need to have anybody else trip on it. And when you start that mindset in your crew, it'll stick. And then before you know it, it's just a natural part. A new guy can walk in and he'll see how you perform, and he'll adhere to it without any kind, mostly now. There'll be some knuckleheads that come along and poor home raising and all that. It's naturally sloppy. His mama never made him make his bed or clean his room, and he's got his first job at 32. And so you can change his life, help him change his life by showing him how a grown man or woman is supposed to act when they do their work. How am I getting out? Somebody tell me. I'd like to see somebody viewing me this morning. I have a few subscribers on this channel, but I think I'm up before they are. They just watch me later on. Anyway, I'd love to see somebody pop up who's listening to me on the radio. I'll try and get better. But if I've got some comments to respond to, I'd love to be more interactive. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep rolling with some Plitophoria. Thank you, baby. She helped me out, set me up. She's my assistant. And she helps me get myself in order to get out here and give me stuff to talk about every morning. And I know she'd love for me to quit bothering her on this as well. So if you scroll by and pick this up sometime while you're on the couch or whatever, in the bed, or fixing to move, or sitting in your easy chair and you see this, know that I come up every Monday morning at 5 a.m. and this is directed to construction professionals. I don't care if you're a project manager, a company owner, or just a new guy who's just starting out. This is the site you need to be. This is where you can tune in and get the vibes you need to get out there and get her done today. Now I keep looking at my watch because Pleophora, she put this together for me and gave me a schedule, and I intend to stick to it. And make her proud of me. She's probably listening in right now. She's that kind. You know what? She is that kind. I don't think she ever sleeps. As a matter of fact, if she's listening, give me a thumbs up, baby. If you're out there listening to me this morning, I appreciate your help. You never know who's listening. You never know who's watching. But here we are. Let's see. What's the weather going to be like, boys and girls? Uh-oh. You know, when I asked me, I'm in Clayton, so let me look. I live up in the northeast Georgia mountain, but I worked for years all over the southeast, and we had to pay attention to the weather. Let's see what we got. Give me the long term first. Boy, I tell you what. It has been one rainy summer. We're going to turn into a lush rainforest around here. I already live in what they call a deciduous rainforest, so we get pretty good amounts of rain. It might be dry in one spot and soaking wet in another, but on average, I think we get 130 inches of rain a year. Sometimes it's snow, most of the time it's rain. Anyway, looks like 40%, 50%, 40 to 50% chance of showers or rain storms all week. So that leads us to being aware of lightning all the time, guys. You know the old lightning rule, right? 30-30. What's that lightning rule? Somebody tell me. Somebody watcher out there, give me the lightning rule. If you see a flash of lightning, you start counting. If you hear the thunder boom within 30 seconds, you're supposed to stand down for 30 minutes. And if you hear another boom in between then, another flash and another boom in that interval, you got to wait another 30 minutes. And I know owners and I know foremen who hate that rule. They feel like it's getting in production. Well, it's a good time to exercise camaraderie, maybe have lunch together, talk about safety, use that some training, find some some cover somewhere and do some training in those times. Use it wisely. I know that's what I encouraged and I exercised when I had to. We always had some type of gathering and working together or training together and just having. And the humidity, boy, Georgia, it's humid and slick. Watch your footing on these ladders and decks. Might be some fog out there. You a little further north, I believe we had some storms. They're making $20 an hour. That's $400 an hour he's spending in labor. And if you're not doing the thing that you get paid to do, he feels like he's losing money. But if you turn it into a training opportunity, he'll feel much better about it. He recognizes the fact that we've got to be safe. He don't want to pay out nobody being injured, and he don't want to pay for somebody getting struck by lightning or falling off steel because it's wet. So you've got to be the one to adjust. Okay, stay tuned up. That'll move us on to the next thing. Where are we at? All right. Here's a challenge here's a challenge this week. This is the week's job site challenge. Crew communication. You know the drill. If one guy's holding the plan and the rest are guessing, we're wasting time and risking safety. Speak up, check in, stop assuming folks just know. The best crews just don't build, they communicate. You don't have to be a poet, but you have to say what you mean and mean what you say. This is very important. If you're a superintendent and you've got the plans, make sure, number one, you understand the plans and you have read them. Make those plans available. You might have a hotshot young guy on there who's got a brain on him and wants to be somebody, and he may take it upon himself to help you review those plans on a daily basis. Once you understand those plans, Mr. Superintendent, Mr. Foreman, it's your duty and responsibility to broadcast to your crew exactly what you know and how that work is to be performed. What the dimensions are, you're supposed to be aware of scheduling, and the more information that you give your team, the less headache it is throughout the day. Make sure that when you have your PTP meeting early in the morning, this is Monday morning, you ought to have a safety meeting first. And I put out last week about housekeeping. That's a good, excellent topic for this morning, because if you get rained out, you could use it for a little extra housekeeping. But after you talk about housekeeping this morning, your safety meeting, you need to have a PTP meeting. And in that PTP meeting, foremen and supervisors, it's your responsibility to fully describe the task that is in front of your men this morning. Make sure they understand the task. Make sure they understand the hazards that are associated with that task and how to mitigate those hazards. If you do that on a daily basis and you do it first thing in the morning and throughout the day, if plans change, if you do that, you start building a team that trusts in you because you trust in them, and you're giving them the leadership and the information to do their job. And you can perform your leadership tasks like meetings with project managers, project players, project engineers, and all. You have time to deal with them and make sure that any discrepancy that you or any of your guys found in the plans can be brought forward and solved throughout the day. So make sure that you take that opportunity to have that PTP meeting and make sure that your guys understand their work, hazards associated with work, and how to mitigate those hazards. All right. Boy, that's a quick run through this morning. How about a joke? Anybody got a joke? Send me something on the dang chat thing. Y'all type me in some jokes. If you're driving, let somebody else do it. Use that old voice activated thing. It's getting real. It's amazing world out there now. You can tap into that phone and hit the old speaker button and ask a question. You ain't even got to touch it. You could have the control set up on your truck. It's an amazing thing that technology is providing for us. We have a wealth of information at our fingertips. Speaking of a wealth of information at our fingertips, you heard about the old backhoe operator, didn't you? Why did he get promoted? Backhoe operators get promoted. I don't know what he got promoted to. Maybe he got a little more money. It's because he had outstanding digging skills. Well, there you go. That's my joke of the day. I'm grateful for it. I enjoy it. I'm going to laugh. Thank you Plurifora, you have done a tremendous job. It makes me giggle knowing that you've done that for me. Yeah, I hear the groans. Send me yours and I'll steal them next week. You know, fair is fair. It's like old farmer. My little nephew graduating from college up in Clarksville, Tennessee. He studied agriculture. He always wanted to be a farmer. I always wanted to run tracks. He always wanted to do that stuff. So he studied it and he followed the passion. I'm proud of him. But I went up for his graduation. He went out and he wanted to get a graduation picture. And he went out there in the pasture and stood there and told his mama to take him a picture, take a picture of him. And the title was Outstanding in My Field. Jamie, you a fool, boy. I love you, son. Anyway, there you go. Outstanding in his field. This week, I already dropped last week, and it was housekeeping. This week, Plerophoria, she has helped me, and we have decided we're going to talk about complacency. You know, but I'm not going to talk about how deep it goes or anything like that, but start thinking about that. It's still under wraps, but here's a hint. It's something that affects a lot of people. A lot of injuries are related, and how that comes into play on a regular basis. And you old heads out there like me, you're the ones who are most susceptible to this hazard. So make sure you look out. Go to the other channel. It's Middleclassbubba. I think there's a space between Middle Class and Bubba. There's probably close to a couple hundred safety videos. So if you're a superintendent, a foreman, or project manager, or company owner, and you're looking for ideas on safety topics, or you want to present something, but you're not real sure how to present it, go by there, stop by that other channel that I have, and take a look at it and give you some ideas. I'm just out here trying to help everybody stay safe. That's my main objective. I've talked about it on a regular basis. You know, I'm in here at 5 o'clock firing this thing up. I didn't make no money. I'm not making money, but I do try to stay relevant in my field, and I do like to get out there and have communication with the guys and the men out there in the field who are out there doing the things that need to be done to keep this country rolling. I believe construction occupies anywhere from 20 to 25% of the total output of this nation. Your job is important. Your job is important, and you're important. And I want to make sure that you become the top of your field, and we do that through training. Training, you know, I'm in the safety field, but I've done a lot of other things. I've been anything from a chief operating officer to a general manager to a safety guy to a project manager. I've done all that stuff, and safety has always been top priority in everything I've done. I guess that's why I get to be a safety guy. Anyway, get out there and make her happen. Let's talk about you now. I want to talk about gratitude and grit. Gratitude and grit. And I want to leave you with this. If you woke up with sore hands, that's a blessing. That means you got a purpose. If your back is hurting, your neck is hurting, your legs is sore, that means if you have gone out there and you have done something. And I do that even though I may not be in the field much anymore. I do get occasion, and I love going out there. I got a couple of companies that call upon me to go, fulfill or fill in for a safety guy, or to come in and do some training. And I enjoy getting out there with you guys, so I don't get sore. But the one thing I do is every week, I make sure that I exercise my body. I go for a hike. I go fishing sometimes. I have a garden. I have I have a road that needs to be maintained. So, I'm out there and doing something every day. Now, I have more leisure than probably a lot of you guys working out there, but I understand how important it is to keep your body moving and to stay active. So I appreciate the work you do. I don't know if I can keep up with you young bucks anymore, but I know a lot. I know a lot. I've seen a lot, and I'll share it with you, and I want to share it with you. Uh, if you've got someone to come home to, that's even better. If you got that cranky wife because she's been dealing with them youngins all day long, and you get to come home to them youngins and they want your attention, and I know you're tired. I know it. But find the inner strength to give those children and that wife, your wife, who supports you and keeps you going and takes care of your offspring. Make time for those people. Uh, make it in your mind. Some guys get home and the first thing they do is play with their kids for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, throw the ball, teach them to ride a bike, exercise something with them every time. And when you come in the house, give that wife that loving. Don't be looking for stuff she didn't get done. You ain't been dealing with squalling kids all day. And them children can wear you out. I got a little grandboy around here. He wears me out. He's 5 years old, and he runs everywhere he goes. He don't walk, he runs. And he's got a million questions. He's learning a mile a minute, and you got to answer, and he can wear you down. So that's what your wife has been going through all day. So you give her the respect she needs and the love she needs for doing that thing. Uh, and 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 also, before we finish this one up, and I talked about it some this week with housekeeping. Take pride in your work. Just don't do it halfway. Do it the whole way. Make it good. Button it up. Put that screw in. Make sure it's held in there good. Make sure you got it caulked or whatever you need to do to make sure it stays airtight or weatherproof. Take pride in how you show up. Don't show up to work rubbing the eyes and eating a honey bun and guzzling a monster drink. Come in there and be ready to go. Show your supervisor you're ready to hear that PTP. You want to know what you're doing. Stay strong, on time, and ready to do it again. All right, boys, it's time to hit it. Keep your boots dry and your eyes open. Your back straight. Especially at the end of the day, what the old boy said, if your feet and your hands and knuckles ain't dragging by the end of the day, you ain't worked hard enough. We're out there and we ain't building castles and we ain't the Masons. Well, some of us are, but we're building livelihoods. Your livelihood and the buildings that you're putting together, that's the livelihood. You represent a whole lot. Think about that. Everything you're doing out there represents providing a livelihood to some family. Anyway, that's where we're going with it. Anybody out there? Come on, guys. I'd like to have something to talk about. I've been wrapping this thing up and I'm a little earlier. I'm a little early on. I've got got it wrapped up pretty much. We're raising the bar, guys, every time we get up. It's now this in a couple weeks, and we need to talk about it now, but I'm going to do a toolbox safety topic video on, and I talk about it every week. Make sure you're staying hydrated out there. This is high humidity. It will get you to sweating, and your body requires a certain amount of water. And there's all kinds of arguments. You need this much or you don't need that much, but you need to be drinking water. And every time you guzzle one of those Red Bulls or Monster drinks or whatever it is, them high energy drinks, they are loaded with things designed by the nature of what they offer, create dehydration. So make sure, and when you dehydrate, when you urinate, oh, that's a funny word, but every time you go to the bathroom, every time you urinate, you're flushing not only those chemicals that those energy drinks have, because your body goes, I don't like this, and shoots it out. You're also depleting nutrients. You're depleting electrolytes that are needed for your body to keep itself cool. And when you're eating the honey buns instead of a nutritious breakfast, you're loading up with carbohydrates, and it's going to give you a crash. That's why you see so many guys waiting on break time so they can guzzle another Monster drink and have another honey bun or some kind of sweet snack, and this my grandson calls them. And you'll feel that burst of energy, but come lunchtime, you're beat out again. And then a lot of times, a lot of us just eat junk food. Some of us, I've seen some guys who, now, I got to give some kudos to some of these immigrants. They come in here and they don't fool around with that old junk food. I've seen them bring their hot plates to work, and their wives pack them their food that they need, and they'll warm their tortillas on the job site and heat up leftovers from dinner from the night before and have a nutritious meal. And if they're fresh in the country or they're got little children, they take advantage of the water that is offered by your employer. And that's a requirement. If your employer is not providing you water, you need to make mention of that, because I'm sure it's an oversight. And if it's not an oversight, they don't want to expense that, then you need to look for another employer, because he don't care. If he don't care about you, he don't care about nothing. He don't care whether you do the work good. And it's hard to have pride in somebody. Hard to have pride in your work when somebody tells you that's good enough. Move on, when you know that it ain't good enough. All right. I know that time is of the essence when you're talking about scheduling and production and all that. Just don't stay with what you know is right. And a new toolbox talk will be dropping on Friday. I try and get them dropped around noon. I normally have a pretty busy day on Friday, but between noon and 5 is when I normally get it done. So make sure you look out for the toolbox topic this week. On this past week, we dropped one on housekeeping. And housekeeping is one of the leading causes of slips, trips, and falls. And when we read statistics, statistics from accident investigations and all that, it shows that falls are the number one cause of injuries and fatalities in the construction business. And when I say that, most people go, oh, people are falling from heights. They're not tying off right. Nay, nay, nay. People are falling at the same level, tripping on something and breaking an arm, breaking a leg, hitting their heads on something, and getting hurt in that way. So that's where a majority of the falls come from, at same level. So be aware of that. Anyway, moving along. Yeah. Anybody? Come on, let's go. What's going on out there? Where's everybody going? I'm interested in where you're going, what kind of work you're doing. Are you a mason? Are you uh, pouring concrete today? You hanging steel? You digging footings? Are you forming? Are you doing hanging rebar for forming, for concrete? You doing demolition work? Are you tearing out the old for the new to come in? You a equipment operator? I'd like to know what you're doing out there. I'm interested. Tell me what kind of job you're on. Is it one of these a multitude of data centers that are coming online? Uh, I did some research. I don't know, a week or so ago, looking on where the trends are, and infrastructure, power. Those are going to be the big trends. Now, middle of next year, the housing may pick back up. So it's a little slow right now, but the money is working its way through the system. People are making investments in this country. People from all over the world are making investments in this country. And the infrastructure, we're going to need new roads and bridges to handle the additional traffic. I see some inland ports coming in. I see some highway construction. Even in the little town I'm at, they're broadening some major thoroughfares, 441, so they can move freight back and forth up into Nashville, Knoxville, and all that, direct out of coming out of the seaboard there into Atlanta and on up. And it'll travel by train, it'll travel by truck. And so all that infrastructure is going to be needed. And if you're a young man out there who's just working a labor job, start looking into trade schools. It's going to be big money for you out there, boys and girls. If you're a welder, if you want to be a welder, go get your welding certificate. If you want to be in the HVAC business, there's going to be a big demand for HVAC for a long time. Next 10 years, you've got a real opportunity here. If you're a young man and you go out there, and I don't care if it's in pest control, I don't care if it's in being an electrician, HVAC, the opportunities are endless. So go out there and get that formal training and get that certificate, and it'll require continuing education, but you ought to be doing that anyway. And don't forget your personal hobbies now. I know you got children. Get involved with a hobby with your children. Model building, camping, any kind of thing you can do to have something outside of just work. Work is not your whole life. Everything that you do is a part of your life. And as you get the old gray hairs, you're going to want to make sure that you have done something in the past to give you something to do in your future, other than to bend your back and put something into it. Not nothing wrong with work. I'm amazed at some of the things that some of these stonemasons and things do with their own property. I live up here, and there's a lot of I don't know what to call it. A lot of people with some money, you know, live up here and they got a house on the lake or a river or something like that. And they hire these stonemasons, and these guys are amazing with their skills to come in and build outdoor kitchens and patios and terraces and retaining walls. And I admire their work. I've priced some of their work, and boy, they're making good money too. So, and some of these guys are artists. These stonemasons, these guys who build these patios out of stone and all that, they are artists. They are really, they can use concrete and stone and really turn a landscape into a work of art. So I love those guys. They do a great job. And everybody needs an electrician. Well, I had some plumbing issues this week. I had that old hot water heater, old pressure relief valve started leaking, man. I had to clean up a mess where that thing was leaking. Then I had to go do my research, had to figure out and get the right one and replace it and all that. And I did it. So, specialized knowledge. Napoleon Hill talks about getting specialized knowledge. And when you're pursuing your dream, when you're pursuing your purpose, get that specialized knowledge, and you can learn it, you know. Years ago when I was a younger man, hell, I went to the library and got books, bought books at the Home Depot for home improvements, and learned how to hang sheetrock and learned how to do wiring and all that stuff. I had to learn it, and I had to get that specialized knowledge. Now, it ain't as extensive as an electrician, and I can run the wire, but I sure want an electrician to come in and do an inspection for me and make sure I perform the work properly. And most of the time I did, and I'd have them hook it to the hot, go through and make sure everything was good, then have them make room in the panel and put in the breakers and then do that work. A lot cheaper that way. Save a lot of money. What time is it? We got 15 more minutes. So anyway, be careful if you're doing your own. I need some water. Oh Lord. I'm running a little short on water. I drink at least one of these a day, sometimes two. And I fill it from the sink. I'm on a well, so I drink well water. Because I do believe that the water you drink binds you to the place you live. And I know some of you living in the big city. I used to live that way too, and I dreaded it. I dreamed of the day I could get to where I'm at, and I am here. And that doesn't stop me. Keep right on rolling. Starlink. Man, I'm on the satellite. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I'm on Starlink. And this morning I've had mostly excellent connection. It's been spotty here in the past, and I don't know if they've gotten up more satellites or whether they've read my comments about how it's affecting my business, but my service has really gotten a lot better in the last few weeks. I said that now. I used to have that old Windstream, or I think they call it Kinetic now. What a scraggly bunch of boo-hoos them guys are. Y'all ever try to stay away from them? I don't care if they come sue me or not. I can talk about my personal experience with them, and it ain't no good. They used to tell me 3 megabits a second was standard, and I was like, what? And once a week it'd drop out totally, and I'd call them. They said, well, you need to reset your router. And I'm like, what? I'm so glad they're gone. Thank you, Elon Musk. Thank you, Starlink. And the best part about it is Elon says that Starlink is financing our trip to Mars. Think about that. Your children one day might be construction workers in Mars. They might go out there and jump on an old rocket ship and blast off to Mars and be gone 3 or 4 years and come back with a pocket full of money. And some of that stuff's pretty amazing. Anyway, I'm I would let me get this tobacco. I like tobacco. Keeps me stimulated. I know I talk about all them monster drinks and stuff. And tobacco's probably not good for you, but I guess we all got to have a vice. I used to smoke many years ago. Uh, St. Paul says everything in moderation. This is one thing I do not do in moderation. That's something I need to work on. I'll share that with y'all. If somebody's listening, had to struggle with it and have cleared it. I used to drink alcohol. I was never really a heavy drinker. I would do that binge thing, go out and party and drink too much. And but I gave that up, 6, 7 years ago now. I decided it wasn't worth it. It just didn't do anything for me. I mean, yeah, it'd give me a good head feel, but I couldn't function. If I got in an emergency situation or something that it would make me lazy. And so I'm glad I give that up. If you've had that struggle, I want to hear from it. Now I get out here early in the morning because I want to be talking to them guys who are getting out there early in the morning, who are want to build something great for themselves and their family, who are the early risers, the leaders. This is for you. This live stream is for you. I want to appeal to you. I want to give you the uplifting moments and the encouragement to get out there and do it, because as a leader, nobody thinks about the work you do, and I want you to be more than a boss. Nobody respects a boss. I had a guy told me one time he was what did they call him? He was a NCO in the Navy, and one of them higher up NCOs, and he said people don't quit their job, they quit their bosses. And I've thought about that, and I've said that a lot of times. Nobody wants to work for a boss. They want to be led. People want to be led. They want to know that what they're doing is important, and that the guy that they're working for respects them and counts on them as much as they count on him to get them to the finish line. And I don't care if you're digging ditches, or I don't care if you're operating a backhoe or hammering nails or cutting wood. I don't care. Do the best you can. And if you're a supervisor, you're a foreman, you need to be a leader. And I've seen some guys who had potential, but they got stuck in that mindset where they would roll into a job site, point and say, and leave. That's what they thought they had to do. They had to find something that needed to be done right then and there, so that they could, instead of understanding the overall job, understanding the process, the means and methods that people were going through, that they would rush in and upset the whole game plan. And, the young guy and the big boss rolls on the job and he says, "Hey, pick that up." Well, he's going to go pick that up, when in reality, the big boss just disrupted the workflow because his mindset was not right. So don't be that kind of guy. Understand that there is a process. Now, I will ask you, what is your task? And how does it play into the bigger picture? I would ask those kind of things to make sure that they understood the work that was going on. And I would ask the questions like, okay, what are your hazards here? Because I'm looking around, there's always a hazard. And what you're doing is you're developing the mindset. You're developing the mindset that as they're doing their work, making sure that they understand what they're doing, how it plays into the bigger picture. And what when they look around, what hazards do they recognize? What are they looking out for? And then if I see somebody else perhaps doing something that I would perceive as unsafe, and I saw them away, I would ask somebody else. I said, "Tell me what you think about this. I'm concerned about this." And they would look at it, and sometimes I go, "No, it's okay." And I would look at it again. I go, "You're probably right." And sometimes they would go, "Whoa, wait a minute, that's not right. Let me go over there and talk to that guy." And that instilled not me doing it, but peer pressure. Your buddy looking out for you. So if you're in a leadership role out there, just try and keep that kind of thing in mind. Anyway, I Player 4, I appreciate you giving me this, and I'll let you know how it rolled here in a minute. When we get done, I'll send you some feedback on it. And guys, I'll continue to work on this thing every week, and making sure that if I've got the feedback, it doesn't matter to me. Look, if you're flipping through here and watching this at a different time, still send me a comment. I read the comments. I read them all if possible, and I keep them in mind, and I make notes, and I try to bring that forward, and have conversation about it on the next one. So your input's very important to me. I want to make sure that we're sharing information. This is a forum, a platform where we get together and we talk about the challenges that we have, and how we can do things better. And and I do run out of things to talk about. I know some of you who know me well know that I don't believe that, but I can stutter along here and we can keep talking. But listen, you're the reason I'm here. And if nobody's showing up, I'm thinking that someday somebody will show up. And thank you, YouTube. YouTube, you make this a permanent record. You put it in the file and your servers, and it's going to be in the ether for a long time. It's going to be stored information unless we have calamity, and it won't matter to anybody anyway. But as time goes on, many years from now, and somebody looks this up and happens to see it, they'll know what my intent is by the content that I produce. And that's one thing that I'm going to continue to do. And you can go back and look at my content on this channel, on the safety channel, and see where my heart is, and see what my intentions are. It's the intent is not to build people watching. The intent is to build people who are watching. Does that make sense? The intent is not to build the channel. The intent is to build people who are watching the channel. I want to see you successful in every aspect of your daily living, from work to mentally to family to spiritual. I want to see you healthy. I want to see you enjoying this gift that is called life. I want to, if I can somehow help you, if I can motivate you, if I can show you the way, or if you take the things I'm saying and finding your own way, which is far superior. I don't want you leading my life. I want you leading your life, but I want your life to be full. I want your life to be full of a whole lot of things. I want your life to be, I want you to be comfortable in your life. I want you to have a lot of love in your life. I want you to have spirituality in your life. I want you to have a good family life. I want you to have all that stuff. And over my years, I have seen too many people who lived life in drudgery. And I have a brother-in-law who one time told me, and I'd never considered it, that he said that God never intended us to be beasts of burden. And that stuck with me. And and that's what I want you to know, that you were never intended to be a beast of burden. You were intended for your own individuality. Um, that you have special skills and that nobody else in this world has. You are a special person. Nobody else in the world like you. And you have the opportunity in life to express your individuality. And all that takes is a little bit of confidence and a little bit of assurance from people who care about you. There's going to be a whole lot of people who laugh and ridicule you on a regular basis. And those are the people that we're taught that are the most devoid of true happiness. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. Be the person who's uplifting not only yourself, but those around you. Look for the drama. You never know. And I don't know what your religion is, but in the Christian world, Jesus said, you don't know who I am. I could be the bum on the street. I could be the homeless person. And how you treat that homeless person or that bum on the street is how you treat and love me. So keep that in mind as you go through your daily life. Keep that in mind as you go through your daily life. Well, we're running out of time here. Got about another minute. I have certainly appreciated you being here. And if you're scrolling through later on, remember, every Monday morning at 5 a.m., I am here. And I'd love to hear from you. And I have to do it at 5 o'clock in the morning because I got other things to do. So, and hopefully, if you're watching this, you've got other things to do too. And you just use me as a motivational time. But anyway, time to go. As always, have a grateful day. Have a grateful week. And we'll see you next Monday morning at 5 a.m. This is Middleclassbubba, and I'm signing off. God bless.